Welcome back to my shed. I'm building a Sopwith Camel. This week's been a little bit slow in result, but lots of stuff being done, finicky work. Where I'm up to at the moment is I'm creating the template for routing out centre web ribs like this, in particular the lightning holes. And it's turned out to be rather fiddly, for want of a better phrase. And I'll talk a bit more about that over the next 10 minutes. In the process, I bought myself a new tool which will make creating the template for this a lot simpler. So progress being made slowly. Enjoy. Kia ora, my name's Matt and I'm building a Sopwith Camel. What you're looking at here is part of a wing rib, in particular the centre part. So I've got down the bottom here a cut out blank, ready to go, and the template or the jig you can see on top of it. This is to allow the lining holes to be cut in it. This is for routing. So I'll zoom in a bit closer. What I'm about to do is route down a step. So this one needs to be 4mm lower, which is the width of the plywood. And I'm going to route, including up around here, this arc, which is above my pencil line, because I want to leave certain parts available for lugs, for locking in the plywood. This may not make sense at the moment, but it will once I get everything else in. Oh, that's a bit better light. So that's where I want to leave a lug, and down here I want it nice and clear of the plywood. So I don't have to worry about trimming that, but I want another lug there, and another lug at the end here, and one up the side, and so on and so forth. So I'm about to crack on with doing that. Just a shot of the two router bits that I'm using at the moment. The one on the left is a bearing bit, or it has a bearing at the end of it, and that one's used for cutting flush to whatever you're routing around. So if you can see the template I got here, this would go upside down, the bearing on the inside of that, and the blades then spin and cut parallel to that surface. So theory goes, I get a nice even cut all the way around that. And practice takes a few passes, because you start somewhere in the centre and then slowly route your way to the edges, unless you pre-cut the hole pretty much the size, which I probably won't do. I'll probably just route. The other one is the one I'm about to use, and this one is good for cutting sides, but it's also good for cutting flat. So in this particular case, I'm going to use that for cutting down 4mm up to this edge or beyond it, where I want to go beyond it. Not that you can see that edge in this particular video, but try and get a slightly better shot. There we go, that's a little bit better. So I'm going to route down to this edge, a little bit beyond in this case, and up to it, and these where I want the lugs, and beyond it outside the lugs. I've deliberately put the lug here as opposed to on the corner, because it's easier to trim a straight lug than it is to trim a lug with a corner, as I discovered in the other one. So yeah, so just a little bit about the router bits, and they're going into the router, which is this tool, into there. Apologies to my sister for the technical info, but this is how to set a router up so it draws to the right depth. You raise it off the surface by the ply, which equates to the depth we want. Push the router down. In this case we'll undo the screw first, and what we've got here is a sliding adjuster. I'll push this down, and then with my free hand, which I haven't got at the moment, I'll then tighten up the adjuster. That'll give me the right depth I need. Freshly routed out with a 4mm step for the plywood to sit in. So these are the lugs, and I've trimmed these bottom ones, so this will fit like so, and that's 4mm across there. This is the web rib knocked up on CAD, various dimensions. Here it is with the routed out, and you can see the lugs there. Yes, hopefully I got across before. So lug there, don't care about this making contact. Makes trimming everything to fit much easier. So with that trimmed out, I can then fit this in. And yes, I prepared this earlier, so everything fits and trims in nicely. And once in, oops, put that in as well. It's a firm fit, as you can tell. May not be firm after I've run the router through it a couple of times, Back to working on web forms for my router. So currently working on, if I can zoom in, yeah, that's it. This is for the tail rib. So I've got the top one pretty much done. Everywhere you can see a tick, and I've got one spot which is a bit low, so I'll put a few layers of varnish on that. Then I'll start working on that bottom line and getting that curve put in. So that's one part of it, one part of what I'm working on. Trusty coffee there, waiting for you to get back. Going into the shed. I'll turn off the radio. And this is the form for the lining holes. At this point, it made the holes a little bit too. There wasn't a quarter of an inch left. It wasn't far off it, but I've got a couple of thick layers of varnish on there to help boost it out. I'll file that back. Then I'll need to file all these down. Take a little bit of meat away, so I'm left with what I want. Sounds a bit cockamamie, I guess, if you're not looking at this part. So I'll put this on here. Yep, that's right. So this we mark here. That point there is slightly less than a quarter of an inch. So that's what I'm building up on in the form. All the rest of it is either on or slightly over. For example, this one's over by a little bit. So I need to take the template, the form that I'm using, sand it back so it'll create more of a hole and leave less meat. A quick update. I've been working on the centre wing rib, and I've decided to make a little bit of a change in how I'm doing that. I'll show you what I've got. So I've been working on this, and I need to get these parts down to quarter inch wide when they're being routed out. So I've been slowly working along the rib, and you may be able to see numbers on there. That's how many mils from there to there, which is what I need to get this down to. So I'm about halfway across the bottom row, and it's taken a wee while. And what I've also found is, because I'm doing it in the evening, over a cup of coffee, trying to relax and chill at the same time, the accuracy of my rasping hasn't been accurate, and it's going down on an angle. Keeping it level is kind of hard, and in a couple of these cases I've gone down below where I wanted to go, which means I've got to refill it back up again with varnish. So overall, not highly satisfactory, not a really great approach. So I've decided to bite the bullet, and given I'm saving myself lots of money by not having these laser cut, I bought myself another tool. The tool's the box, not the cat, although the cat is a bit of a tool. But yeah, an oscillating bobbin sander, I think it's called. So I'm about to open this up. I only ordered it like a day ago, and it's arrived from Christchurch already this morning. Today's a Saturday, as I'm kind of gobsmacked. I didn't expect it till next week. So I'm going to have fun opening this up now. And 10 minutes later, all set up. Looks the part. It's the bottom end of the range, but it'll do the job for what I want. And this is at 90 degrees, which is exactly what I'm after. In operation, it rotates quite fast, and it moves up and down about half an inch or thereabouts. And that's one spindle. There's a range of other spindles up to 3 inches, half an inch up to 3 inches. And also picked up a couple other things as well. The spare rolls, sandpaper rolls for 1 inch. 2 inch might have been better, but till you see these things. These for the scroll saw, just need a new blade, and a rubber cleaning stick for the sandpaper for these, and also the belt sander. It'll be interesting to see how that works. And a few more bags, because I'm running out. The minor flaw with this particular unit is the on switch doesn't stay on, which is a right raw pain in the backside, and will need fixing. I'll use it in the meantime, but it's not ideal, as ideally you want two hands on the work, not one hand on an on switch. But I want to keep things moving. Very impressed with this tool. It feels like a very cruisy way of sanding, particularly inside corners like these and these edges. I'm knocking through these relatively quick now with this, as opposed to trying to do it by hand. And of course the sides, internal sides now, are absolutely vertical, absolute 90 degrees, which is much better. So yeah, overall, very happy I got this. Just got to get that switch seen to. But that'll be a job for next week. Just finished making the template for the tail web. And cutting out, I think it's about 20 odd of these blanks. Ready to go. This template's had a coat of varnish and the first of quite a few coats to go around the inside edges of these to build them back up. And with the new sanding bobbin sander, well, certainly downside easier than doing it by hand, I can tell you that much. I hope you enjoyed that. It's a bit of a shorter video this time because I'm doing a lot of repetitive stuff. But I'm making progress with this, slowly getting this to the right dimensions so I can knock out buttloads of these for the aircraft. Not much more to say, really. Crack on.